Welcome to Rambles and Records, episode 13.
Episode
Ooh.
13, wow.
Well, technically, with our LP one, it's 14. We're going to be compiling all of the music that we've mentioned and played thus far into a playlist, which will be available to stream. And then we're going to go into season 2. Oh, shit.
Are we allowed to talk about the plans for the podcast in the season on this recording?
Yeah, of course.
Because, I'm all for this, building and learning in public thing. So, with regards to the playlist, are we doing one playlist at the end of the season? Because I was thinking more of like a cumulative playlist, which like starts with the songs from this week's episode available this week, and then we just add the songs to it. But then I will also add, with regards to kind of what I want to bring to the table today, it might make sense to start a playlist for this episode, because I'm going to talk about a lot of music that I've discovered this week.
Well, how many songs you got?
5.
Okay, to be fair, I've got like 6, so that's like 11 songs. But I would...
7. It's not a
8.
competition.
Yes. 10.
Nah. I haven't got that many.
Nah, man. Nah, I got like 20, you know.
No, I just remembered a couple more that I wanted to add.
Nah, I just remembered some more as well.
We can start the season 1 playlist this week with this week's songs only in it to start with, just so in case anyone does listen to it this week, they can also reference the songs.
And then at the end of 15, we shove all the other ones in.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, the dynamic for the episodes is going to change in ways that we, to be honest, don't even fully understand yet. And hopefully, yeah, we can continue sharing music that people are going to find and enjoy, or already know and enjoy. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
Unwave Network presents.
This is Houston Control. Take over backup. And we are good to go.
Rambles and Records.
What's going on, Bill?
What is going on? You just asked me. I can't just copy your question.
No.
This week, I received a parcel. I'd ordered some records, some new records.
Okay. Love it. What have you got? What's in the bag?
Do you want me to go into it now?
It's up to you, mate.
Tell me what you've been up to this week, and then we'll gradually get into it.
So, this week... What have I done? What have I done this week? I've been trying to just actively listen to more records in preparation for this episode in particular, because I think we're just going to start going more into the actual record side of things. So yeah, I've been playing a lot of records, and what did I do? This weekend just gone, I went to see Smashing Pumpkins and Weezer.
Oh, nice. Wow.
It was incredible. I went with our buddy Matt. They're like one of my favourite bands, I'd say.
Which one? You mentioned 2.
Smashing Pumpkins, but I do love Weezer as well. They sounded amazing. Smashing Pumpkins were equally as good. Still got it.
Did they play their most popular songs?
They did Cherub Rock as an encore, so that was cool. Well, actually, it was Cherub Rock into Zero, which was amazing. But there was a few songs missed out that I just thought, like...
I think I saw a headline recently, Billy Corgan saying something about, like, doesn't care. He'll play the songs he wants to play.
Yeah, I seen that. I can't remember.
The ones expected to play.
I'd be paraphrasing, but I've 100% seen that same headline. And that not long after the gig, I think I saw it. And I thought, well, okay. Well, at least you're responding to my inner question that I had, why the fuck he didn't play.
He's listening to you, yeah. That's not so bad.
But I would have loved to hear Hummer. I would have loved to have heard like a couple more songs off Siamese Dream, Rocket, some stuff off Melancholy would have been nice. But I mean, they played enough. Mm-hmm. Played Rhinoceros, Mayonnaise, like the bigger sort of less well-known hits, I guess. The lesser well-known hits of theirs, if that makes sense. They were like on purpose trying to say, no, we're not playing the fucking... No. They had to play Cherub Rock, but yeah, it felt a little bit like that. Still, though, I'm just amazed that I got to sort of see him. But they've still got, like, Jimmy Chamberlain. I need to stress as well, Jimmy Chamberlain is literally my favourite drummer. He always has been. Like, he's just amazing. I love his drumming style. That was the coolest part of it, I think. Just got to see my favourite drummer. To be honest, our seats were shit. To be honest, the arena didn't have screens, so we were so far back we couldn't really see. But then Matt and his dad left a bit early. I think they were both under the impression that the gig was ending sooner than what it was as well. So I had half an hour to myself at the end of the gig. I was just on my own. So
Yep.
I basically went down to the bottom of the stalls where I was, because I was at the back of the arena, and asked the dude, I said, can I get into standing for the last bit of the gig? And he was like, yeah, go on. Like, just go down.
Ah,
I was like, sweet.
nice.
Got into standing,
Fair play.
wormed my way through, and then managed to like see him like for the last
Yeah.
bit. So I was glad I did that.
Where was
man.
Where was the show?
Utilita Arena? Used to be called
okay.
Barcade Arena.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Weezer was amazing. The overall sound, the band, like very on point. And yeah, that's been. Other than that, my life's been pretty boring for the past week. What have you been up to?
Right, so I guess I'll show you some of these records then.
Yeah.
'Cause, I've also
Please.
been pretty boring, apart from running and done much else. So, one sec. They're just here. They're just a bit out of reach. I'm just trying to reach them. Okay, so I bought a bundle of records from an independent record label.
Sick.
Have you heard of
Shout 'em out.
Punk Slime? Have you heard of Punk Slime?
Punk Slime. No.
So the name is normally stylized as PNKSLM in capitals. So they're like an independent record label run out of Stockholm in Sweden. They kind of champion mostly like garage rock bands, DIY, indie, sometimes some synth poppy kind of stuff. But yeah, no, I've been listening to them for a long time because they actually have quite a few close ties with Birmingham as well. So even though they're based in Stockholm now, it was founded by Luke in London. Kind of started off as like a blog and some parties in London. And then he moved to Stockholm and they started the label over there. But quite a few bands on the label are from Birmingham. So bands like Black Meat-Con, Swamp Meat Family Band, the Castilians. Now those names might not be very familiar to people kind of outside of a quite specific niche. But for me, growing up in Birmingham, like these bands were kind of very instrumental in my kind of growing up on the local band scene and kind of getting passionate about music and kind of finding these underground gigs. You know, like they used to host lock-up parties, and there's still some of the, like as you were saying, like some small gigs that you've been to have like that energy. Like some of the best parties that I've been to were at some of these bands' lock-ups and EP releases and stuff. So yeah, these bands were kind of also like quite influential in my early days of like trying to be in a band in Birmingham, and then eventually, you know, sharing the stage with them, and becoming pally with some of them, and you know, going out for beers with them. So I saw that the label, I think they're moving office, so they kind of did a mystery bundle sale to try and shift some records before they move. So the premise is, I paid like €40. You get to pick one record, and then they'll send you 5 records. Obviously, the other 4 are a mystery.
I'm checking it out now, and
Yeah.
I'm checking out some of the artists on here and stuff as well. I love the way that all the album art just seems very coherent, like, and the bands and the kind of just the records themselves look amazing.
Like they've been pressing all their bands on vinyl, I think, for as long as I've been aware of them, since like 2014 or whatever. And they've always put a lot of effort into kind of the physical releases and stuff.
One thing I've noticed is just that extra mile that they've gone to in terms of merchandising and things that I guess indie labels wouldn't always do because of budgeting reasons, maybe, or just it just seems like they've gone the extra mile with that.
No,
all
there is
looks pretty
definitely like
cool.
a coherence. The bands definitely all fit on the label. It's not just like a random thing, but you know, they are all unique as well. It's not like
certain record labels, you get this mishmash of loads of different bands that are maybe on the list because of their success. Or,
Mhm.
you know, they might be really good bands, but they don't take into account the overall scope of the label collectively. All the bands together as one, comparing those and finding a likeness towards each one of them. But this label just seems like one big family of bands.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just based off the artwork alone anyway, which is a bit vague. I can't just do it off that premise, but just seems all very coherent.
Well, that was definitely like one thing I got from like, you know, attending the gigs of the bands that were in Brum. Not all of them necessarily on Punk Slime, some, but you know, that there was definitely like a sense of community with the bands that were on the label or were close to them, or you know, just mates. I've even been to Stockholm and seen some bands, and there is definitely very much like a community. So yeah, no, it's a very like authentic experience from what I've witnessed.
Cool. So I've noticed one of the bands are called Shit Girlfriend.
Yeah. I remember we were fuming when we found out that this band came out. We're like, no way. Because we are obviously...
No, we're never going to make it. Fucking Shit Girlfriend. Who they think they are? I'm going to fucking find them. For those that don't know, Billy was in a band called Bad Girlfriend.
Mhm.
Which came
Yeah.
first? The
We
Shit
did.
Girlfriend or the Bad Girlfriend?
Okay, so we came for Shit Girlfriend, but there was another band called Bad Girlfriend before us.
Ooh. The plot thickens.
And for a while, our Spotify accounts were linked before we were able to change it. But
Drama.
that got resolved.
God, that's for another episode. We're going to have to get the accounts. But we'll get both Bad Girlfriends in on an episode. We'll take the accounts of both sides. And then we'll get Shit Girlfriend to come in like fucking WWE Raw. Like, who's,
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit. Who's coming in on the call? It's Shit Girlfriend.
I would be
Damn.
terrified for that conversation. I wasn't even involved with the naming of the band. It was named before I joined.
We'll find
Band
like a
names.
good girlfriend and an amazing girlfriend. And like, I love my girlfriend. Let's get loads of girlfriend bands in. It's like, terrible girlfriend, what do you think? And then it's just like, well, the thing is, like, our album came out when you were fucking nappies, dickheads. Sorry, I'm rambling on, man. Fucking.
There was another band in Birmingham at the time, or was it Birmingham? I
Respectable
can't remember.
girlfriend.
But there was something about like Bad Wife as well, or something. I can't remember.
Can't be doing with that.
I've completely
Bad
forgotten
Wife.
the name. They ended. I don't think it was Bad Wife, but there was. I feel like there was something like that. It wasn't
Man.
really a rivalry. We were willing to.
This is we
try
need
and
to make this
start,
happen. We need to do a live show where we bring all the girlfriends. Anyway, back to the label. Punk Slime. The mystery bundle is always a really good way to introduce people to new records.
Given that
Yeah.
you know they're not mainstream, they're not bands that you're necessarily going to be listening to on the radio, and you can easily miss some stuff. And obviously they've got a lot of stuff on the store now, so it was really cool because I did end up with discovering some new stuff and you know getting some old stuff that I like.
It's kind of similar to what you said about, you know, when we was talking about festival lineups in last week's episode, and you said about how you went through the lineups and actively listened to the bands. It's kind of like that, where it's like, well, I've bought the records now, I'm going to give it a go, as opposed to maybe before, and if you'd have just seen it as an option, you might have skipped it. And it's kind of like buying a festival ticket, you know, well, I've bought the festival ticket, I'm going to listen to this band now because they're going to be on the bill. So yeah,
And there's a good
that's
chance
cool.
that you're going to be interested in some of it if it's all like, you know, on a label that you know puts out bands that you like, or at a festival that puts on bands that you like.
Yeah, absolutely. If they're on the same bill as a few other bands that you already know and like, chances are that's for a reason. And it seems like that's what this label's all about as well, in terms of like bundling the bands together as an all-in-one package kind of thing. So
Right.
the suspense is killing me, Bill. What you got, man?
I'm going to show you the records, and then I want to show you one song off each one as well.
Cool.
What I had in mind was we could listen to it, obviously, the audience, sorry, you can't listen to it here on the podcast, but you'll be able to go to the playlist and then check out the songs there.
Yeah, we'll
Um,
put the link in the show notes, so go ahead
Yeah.
and feel free.
cool. So, I mentioned that you get to pick one record, right? So I'll start with the one that I picked. So this one is, the band is called Holy, and the record is called Stabs. So this is the project of a guy in Stockholm. I think his name is Hannes. And I picked this record because probably close to 10 years ago, Punk Slime put on the OCs in Stockholm. I think the venue might have been called Debaser or something. But this band, Holy, were the opening act. So
Okay.
I remember, again, downloading the album on Spotify and listening to it on the plane on the way there. Hadn't heard them before. I guess I would say maybe it's a kind of like a lo-fi poppy garage sound. You know, on this record, there's kind of like a lot of like cheery, upbeat melodies, but with still quite a melancholic, maybe vocal style. And this came out in 2015, and the song I'm going to show you is called The Holy Show.
Rambles and Records.
Yeah, that was The Holy Show by Holy. What did you think?
I enjoyed that. I think it was cool. I definitely heard like the sort of OC's stylings. They remind me a little bit like Frankie and the Witch Fingers,
Okay, yeah.
but like a bit less jumpy, bit more, as you say, maybe a bit melancholy, a bit like more reserved.
I mean, that genre definitely occupied a lot of my listening for like certainly like the period like when this came out and when I went to that gig. You know, I'd say like from 2015 to 2019-20, it was just like all like psyche garage rock.
It was all psyche garage rock around that time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'd
But
say I was
they're not-
definitely had the bug for it then as well.
It's been kind of interesting, like, because I haven't listened to it much really, probably in the last couple of years. So kind of digging through these records, like, there's going to be a lot of that today, by the way. Not like
Yeah?
all of it,
Of it?
but yeah, it's definitely like a bit of a nostalgic trip. When I saw Holly was really cool because I was at the Punk Slime office, got to meet those guys. They were really cool. I got put up in Stockholm. It was my birthday, and I met the OCs as well. So it was
Did you?
yeah.
Yo, Billy kept that quiet. Sick. Well, like full
'Cause-
on met him, had a conversation with him and that.
I went backstage because, like I mentioned, our mate in Birmingham was quite closely related to the label, and he'd gone over for the show. And then I said I was interested. He said come along, and then introduced me to everyone. So
Mate,
it was
that's
cool.
sick, man. I've always wanted to go to Stockholm as well. What's Stockholm like?
It's really cool. I was only literally there for the gig, so I flew, watched the gig, crashed on someone's sofa, flew back the next day. So
That's
I can't say I know Stockholm that well, but it was really nice from what I saw.
I don't know why you've kept that so quiet up until now.
No,
It's,
man, yeah, obviously it's a fond memory. Occasionally, because Connor was supposed to come with me, and then for whatever reason he didn't. He said he had work or something. So every now and again, I like to send him the picture of me with John Dwyer, just to remind him.
That's great, man. That's such a cool story. I hope that one day speak with maybe somebody that you went with, or
Pretty sure.
maybe John Dwyer one day. Who knows?
No, of course. Next week, mate.
Yeah.
I booked it in.
Oh, it's already booked. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was Holy. What have you been listening to, Clark?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Well, I have 3 records down here that I've been playing this week. The first one that I want to talk about is this record here.
Ah, nice.
So, Talking Heads, Stop Making Sense. Great album. It's obviously got the big suit on it, which is always cool. This album, released in 1984, and I noticed recently, one reason why I wanted to get back into it this week is because the 40th year anniversary deluxe edition is going to be coming out for it in July. So it's 40 years old. It is a live LP that came with like a film that they put out for it. It's this really theatrical performance, live performance that they did around the album, and they sort of turned it into short film live performance type thing. The deluxe edition looks really cool. It's like double LP, double CD, like a 28-page booklet you get with it, and the records are in this like cool sort of bullet silver. The way that they play live on this record is really experimental in comparison to other Talking Heads performances that I've seen.
Mhm.
They really go against the grain on this record, so it's worth checking out. If I was going to play any track off the record that I think would be cool, probably be Slippery People. It's a jam, and out of every song, I feel like that's the one where I would most like to be at that gig listening to that song. Obviously, I'd love to hear like Psycho Killer, you know, This Must Be the Place. I've mentioned that song before in terms of it being just a really, really cool song. But Slippery People is just a jam. So I think we should listen to that. Get that on. We'll obviously add this to the playlist as well. So next up we're going to listen to is Talking Heads' Slippery People from the Stop Making Sense live album. You got it? 3, 2, 1.
Rambles and Records.
Right, man. So that was Talking Heads with Slippery People from the live album Stop Making Sense. What do you think of that?
That was really cool. Yeah, I can imagine that'd be a great performance to see live.
Live, edit. That's what I mean. Because obviously they got all the other bangers on there, but that one in particular, I can really see myself there.
Yeah.
This record's really cool, man. If you like Talking Heads, you haven't listened to this album, definitely recommend it.
Yeah, I'm not as privy to Talking Heads as you are, and definitely getting more and more intrigued every week. We've got to check out this film as well. I've seen.
It's cool.
I'm aware that the film exists. I've seen maybe the odd clip, but I haven't seen it. So yeah, I'll definitely be checking that out.
You know, like a live performance was good if you've had to make a film about it. The back of this LP is pretty cool as well because it's just got a series of questions. It just says, why stop making sense? Why a movie? Why tour? Why do the musicians come out gradually? What will the band do next? Where do the odd movements come from? Are live concerts better or worse than records? Why no special effects in the movie? Why a big suit? Why was a digital system used for the sound? So
Do any of those questions get answered?
I can't remember. I don't think so. I think they're just trying to ironically be the negative critics. Still holds up. Very enjoyable.
Yeah, that's cool. Did you get the record recently, or have you had that for a while?
I've had it for a while. You get some live albums, oh, fuck's sake, just stick the studio version on. But, like, it's a good live album. Yeah. Anyway, back to the Punk Slime extravaganza. What you got next, Phil?
Slime. Okay, so the next one was the first mystery. And actually, so this is a band called Vero, and the album is called Unsoothing Interior.
That's cool.
I'd never heard of this band before. Wasn't aware of this album before. It's pretty cool, man. Like, it's a solid record. So it was released in 2022. Swedish trio. They kind of got maybe like that late 80s alt rock sound. Like, they cite influences like Sonic Youth and Pixies. And you can hear that. But this song I'm going to play is called Heather. But yeah, let's see what you think. So this is Vero and Heather. 3, 2, 1.
Rambles and Records.
Yep, so that was Vero with Heather.
That was sick. That was cool. That was.
Yeah.
I got more into that as it was going along. Like, that was banging, to be fair. I think once it started, like the first verse, I was like slow to get into it. But then once I think the vocalist started like humming almost in the chorus, and then it got a bit more heavy. Definitely hearing like 90s alternative sort of influences. Sounded like the Breeders a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Really good, solid song.
No, exactly. Yeah, I would say like it's a compelling album. It's solid. Like the songs are all decent. Yeah.
I thought that was cool. I could definitely listen to that again. I'll go ahead and give them a follow and see what else they got.
No, so that is a first pressing. Don't you know?
Oh, Billy with the first pressing. We'll get it signed. Are they touring?
Yeah. I'm not sure actually. When I was looking them up, I didn't see a lot of the stuff seemed centered around this album release, which was a couple of years ago. So I don't know.
Yeah, I can see that. Like most of their popular songs is literally this album.
Yeah.
But they've had other releases. They've done EPs and certain singles. Yeah, we'll keep an eye out for them. I like the name. Vero is really cool.
Mhm.
I like the album name as well. And Soothing Interior. That's pretty cool. So, I'm a fan. I'm into it.
Yeah. So from there, what else have you got?
Okay, my turn. Sweet.
Mhm.
Next, I've got... what should I do next? Hang on. Up next, we've got a record from none other than Patti Smith.
Nice.
Yeah, this is Wave. Yeah, cool record. This one in particular, I've had this record for years now. It's not in the best condition, to be fair. But I think going off the Talking Heads thing, I've just started listening to records that day when I pulled it out, and this kind of just fits in the same sort of realm, I think. So based off of that, yeah, I played this, and like it's just a good all-round like album. Concentration music, or whatever you want to do it, really call it. I don't know. Or even if you're not concentrating, you don't have to concentrate to listen to it. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying.
Lo-fi hip hop beats to chill to.
Lo-fi. It was the 1979 version of the lo-fi hip hop beats playlist. This album. So, if you haven't got that one accessible at hand, but you do have this, and you need to get some studying done,
yeah,
just whack this on, man. Patty's got you. So yeah, Patti Smith. Absolute ledge. From this album, Patti Smith Wave, I have picked Dancing Barefoot. So if you want to go ahead and do that literally as well, whilst you listen to it, I don't care. Whatever. 3, 2, 1.
Rambles and Records.
That was Patti Smith with Dancing Barefoot. Little jam.
Yeah, that was really cool. It's one of those artists where I don't think I've ever heard a bad song, but maybe I haven't listened to enough of them either.
I'm probably with you there, actually. I probably haven't listened to enough Patti Smith.
She's like kind of associated with the punk movement, but it's not really like
Yeah,
punk.
it was punk, wasn't it? But it was kind of like her albums were more chilled. I'd say they're more like almost glam almost, or kind of art rock.
One thing that stood out to me in the song was the organ. I thought that sounded really cool. It's definitely not an instrument you would normally associate with punk.
She was cool. She still is cool. She's touring in Dublin. Go check her out. She's got dates elsewhere as well. Well, she seems quite busy actually. She's playing London, Vienna, Rome, Granada, Kingston,
Wow.
Leon. Big shout to Patty, yeah. 77 now. Killing it.
Wow.
Queen of punk. She's definitely in that sort of art punk sort of realm with bands like Television,
Mm-hmm.
Talking Heads, Blondie. I think I've been listening to a lot more of that lately. Always loved it, but like what you said, I think I've been just digging a little bit deeper into it lately. Because I think obviously that's early 80s we're talking then. And
Yeah, because this one was 79.
79. And then her most famous album, I'd say it's probably Horses. So, Horses was 75.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She's 70s.
But then, bands like Pixies, and they were 80s.
True. But they're associated with 90s. That's so true. I think it's these visionaries, aren't they? They come before, shape the generation, or the kind of the scene, or the overall scope of the decade that comes after.
Yeah.
But because they were the formative creation of the entire genre, you associate them with the decade after instead of
Yeah.
the decade before. Patti Smith to me seems 80s, but she's mid 70s. Yeah.
I think as well, like, because, you know, maybe a lot of the 90s bands that I imagine you're referring to were kind of concentrated at the start of the 90s. So they were obviously influenced by what was happening in the 80s. Like, even Sonic Youth,
Yeah.
Daydream Nation was 88.
If a whole genre of music gets created, it doesn't just, it's not like a big bang sort of element to it. It's got to have some sort of formative...
Like, as soon as the new decade starts, every band has to quit. You're retired.
Grunge. Have that, you bastards. Oh, I'm feeling really creative. Glam rock.
That's probably how it happened, to be honest.
Imagine creating hip-hop.
Just a whiff of hairspray and then hair metal.
I think it would have more impact than that. You need more energy. Hair metal. Okay, so hit me with some slime.
Shall I show you the next one?
Yeah, what's next?
So this is the Mary Veils Esoteric
Like that.
Hex. Wait, check out the vinyl on this as well.
The Mary Veils. Oh.
Let's see.
Oh shit. Is
You
that
can't
clear?
really see
Or
the-
is that like...
It's a bit orange, but it's a bit hard to see on the camera.
Like bronze almost. Yeah, that's sick, man.
And I
That's
think
sick.
this was a special limited edition for indie store exclusive.
Mm.
100 copies worldwide. So
Really
yeah,
got the exclusive.
This album was cool. Enjoyed this one. It's definitely like a throwback to the kind of garage rock stuff we were listening to, that we mentioned earlier. Definitely maybe a bit of like Black Lips kind of vibes in some places. Some just a good old rock and roll record.
Just a good old bit of rock and roll.
Yeah, 2022, and was also produced by Corey Hansen, or at least mastered or mixed by him. So he is the frontman of Wand. Definitely one of the key bands of that psych garage rock scene. And a guy called Jeff Ziegler. I think he produced like War on Drugs and Kurt Vile stuff. So this band are from Philadelphia. Yeah, I wasn't familiar with the band before, but yeah, enjoyed the record. So the record is called Esoteric Hex. The band are called the Mary Veils, and the song is Circle Omens.
3, 2, 1.
Rambles and Records.
Yeah, so that was the Mary Veils with Circled Omens.
Again, I really enjoyed that. Genuinely. I think when you said it was going to be another like garage rock group, I think I was expecting something louder, quicker, more energetic. A bit
Okay.
more crazy, I was just thinking for some reason. But again, it just felt more understated, like really fuzzy, like the bass in it was really cool.
Well, I can say I picked it pretty much solely based on that guitar that comes in halfway through. The one that's just like wailing over the top.
I did like that. The drums felt as if they were trying to catch up with the rest of the song on purpose. I liked how it was kind of...
Sort of like dragging a bit.
Dragging along, yeah, it had this dragging sort of element to it. It's interesting that they're from Philadelphia as well.
I'm not aware of many punk slime acts being from the States, but I was definitely intrigued the moment I read Corey Hansen's name. No, I was satisfied when I heard it.
Me too. I enjoyed it. I'm going to follow them as well. The Mary Veils.
So, did you say you had a couple of records, or you have more? Because
I got
can
one
just-
more.
okay, cool.
But then I've also got things that I've just been listening to. I was going to go through just things that I've saved on, Spotify. Last record that I want to go into is not a big deal or anything, but it's literally my favourite record of all time. And I guess there's many reasons for this. Mainly because, my mom got me into it when I was really young. And it's one of them sentimental ones, just always stuck with me. But because I got into it when I was really young, it's one of those that's just really attached to me. And this record is Crosby, Stills, Nash Young, Deja Vu.
Nice.
There it is. There they are, doing their thing. This album is so sick. The band in general, I just love. I just love their harmonies. I love how it's kind of a bit psychedelic. It's a little bit folk, a little bit blues, a little bit like Americana, classic rock. But there's just a lot in there. There's a lot to unpack. It's a bit unpredictable, and I haven't listened to it. I say it's my favourite album of all time. It always has been, but I haven't listened to it properly in years. So picked it out, thought, yeah, I'll give this a go again, and it still holds up, man. It's great, man. I think anyone can sort of enjoy it or find some sort of enjoyment in it. So yeah, Deja Vu.
Man, everyone's got that record where, you can just have like such a great feel for it, and like it doesn't matter. Like, I don't know, maybe other people love it as much as you, maybe they don't, but like that, having that personal connection to it and being able to share that enthusiasm for it is like always an incredible thing.
You feel a bit vulnerable. You're sharing this vulnerable like side to say, oh my god, this is the best record of all time, as if you then got to like try and pitch it and sell it. You know, it's this thing
no
where it's great because this, it's great because that, and I could go into the reasons why I love it, but I think ultimately, you, as you say, you get them certain records that just resonate with you in a certain way, and you can't always explain why, but this is that record. Like, this is just the go-to for me. Like,
I think it's just down to personal experiences and what kind of, how it makes you feel in relation to that. And there's no right or wrong best record to have. Like, just, I think exactly. Anyone that's like excited about a record, whatever it is, that gets me excited.
It's not always the record, is it? Like, because I want to develop this show to be something where we hear the records and that's great, and we go, this is a great song, let's have a listen, oh yeah, that's a great song. But I think it's the stories behind the songs that are more interesting. You know, I love this album because it's literally the album that got me into collecting records, listening to records, music in general. Then it got me into playing instruments and just built that passion that I have for music now. That was this record. So based off of that, that's the reason why I love it. And I think hearing that, if I was to hear that, that would be more interesting to me than the actual record itself, because there's a story there in terms of one single record that really moulded an interest that you're going to have for the rest of your life. It's just a fucking great record. It's fucking sick. I'm going to put it on now and everyone thinks it's shit. Have you heard it before?
No.
I'm going to go ahead and recommend playing the first track on the album, Carry On. It's a jam. There's loads of different elements to it. Great first tracks, sets up the album in a nice way. This album's got loads of different twists and turns in terms of like, there's like sad songs, jumpy songs, more classic rock songs, more country songs, more folky sort of songs. Like this song is kind of like a mishmash of all of them in one go. So, without further ado, I'm going to stop chatting shit. And this is Crosby, Stills, Nash Young with Carry On. 3, 2, 1.
Rambles and Records.
So, that was Crosby, Stills, Nash Young with Carry On from their Deja Vu album.
Yeah, it was really cool. Yeah. It turns out I've already liked this at some point in the past. But I see what you mean about like the kind of twists and turns and stuff. Like there was a lot of elements in there that pleasantly surprise you as the song's going along.
Yeah, you don't know which way it's going to go next. And then
yeah.
I think my favourite bit is just you've got that sort of a cappella harmony thing that goes into just really nice display of psychedelic synth and wah pedals and just really uplifting song. Yeah, I think around that time they kind of pioneered a lot in terms of fusion of different genres. Came out in 1970. They took the best parts of whatever people were doing around that time. So you had like Neil Young and Stephen Stills, who were part of Buffalo Springfield. So they were giving that more Western American feel to it. David Crosby was in the Byrds. They were more like, I'd say, psychedelic rock. And then you had Graham Nash, who was in the Hollies. And the Hollies were kind of just doing that more Beatles-esque sort of rockabilly stuff. So yeah, they just all joined together and put it all together, and that's why I think you just get so many different individual genres creeping up.
Just after listening to that song, I feel like I could be really happy to own this record. Like, I can kind of see already, like, yeah,
man.
I can imagine it's great. I'm definitely gonna be checking that out.
I bigged it up so much, like I felt like you weren't gonna just then go, "Oh, that was a bit shit, man." So, have you got any more Punk Slime goodies?
So I've got 2 left. So the next one, keeping to the theme of the mystery bundle. This is another one which I've never heard of before, and I still haven't heard anything from it. I thought I would save one of them as a mystery until the show. So we're going to pick a track from this one.
Okay, sick. I like this. Okay.
And this is the most ominous looking record cover that I've probably seen. It's a picture of a gloved hand holding a flaming dagger.
That means business, man.
And yes, the band are called Gestures, and the album's called Funny Games. So this was released in 2018, and I know nothing else about it.
I think that's a good way to go into it. What do you want to pick?
I was gonna suggest we pick. Okay, so there's one track on the popular songs which just has loads more plays than all the others. So maybe we go for that one?
Yeah. Makes sense.
Okay, so we're going to listen to a song called It Follows by Gestures. First time ever listening to this song or this band.
I feel like it's just going to be like, fuck shit, hiss, shit, fuck, hiss, shit, fuck, shitty, piss, pissy shit. And then we're like, that was It Follows by Gesture. Let's just get into it, man.
Okay, so this is Gestures and It Follows. 3, 2, 1, go.
Rambles and Records.
So yeah, so that was Gestures with It Follows.
Okay. I was pleasantly surprised, man. Yeah, weren't bad. I think, I was saying about how I kept saying how I was expecting something a bit heavier and quicker with the last songs.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I was expecting.
Okay, so
Like-
this is what you were expecting from the other bands.
Yeah. In terms of the energy, the tempo.
Yeah, I guess this one is
Um,
like more on the punky side of garage.
Yeah.
I think there's a bit of a juxtaposition because I think it's quite upbeat in the melodies, but then the vocal style's a bit more melancholic. But yeah, maybe that one's more indie. And then, so that was Holy. And then you had the Vero one, which was a bit more kind of alt-rocky.
90s. Yeah.
And then you had the Maryvales, which I thought was a bit more like psyche garage rock, maybe.
Mm.
And then now this one, which was a bit more punky.
Good mix, man. I think
Yeah.
it puts garage rock in a nice, like, pretty little sort of all-in-one package, like,
Yeah.
in terms of what you can expect for it.
Kind of get like the
covered all the
spectrum.
bases. Yeah. So I think in terms of what Punk Slime have done, in terms of your random bundle as well, they've done a great job in
Mm-hmm.
kind of encapsulating what they're all about, probably. You know?
Yeah.
So cool, man. I'm really, really glad you've shared that.
I'm looking
And
forward to listening to the rest of that record, actually. I think I could get into that.
Yeah. I could definitely as well. I think read on their Spotify that the album is horror infused. I mean, I kind of get it with the knife
Yeah.
on
It's
fire.
pretty...
They said this knife needs more, like...
The knife isn't scary enough. How can we make it scarier?
Yeah. So yeah, cool. Have you got any more? You got one more?
Yes, there's one more. So,
Ooh. Have you heard this one?
yes. This one I saved till last. This, like, the story behind it's a bit more interesting. So,
Okay.
this is ShitKid. Do apologize. I left the kind of the cling film on, so it's kind of not great for the camera. But like
ShitKid.
on this side, it's called Duo Limbo, and then
Mm-hmm.
this side is in Swedish, and it's called Mellan himmel helvete, and I think that translates to between heaven and hell. Or so this
Limbo.
one is another coloured vinyl. We've got a nice.
Let me see.
We've got a nice green on here.
Look at that. That's cool. Nice.
Yeah, so what's interesting about this record, it was recorded when they went to South by Southwest. They were there for the festival, and then they spent a couple of days in the studio while they were in the States. The first day, they were in the studio with... I can't remember which day was the first day or whatever, but like on one day, they were in the studio with Buzz Osborne and Dale Crover of the Melvins.
No, okay, I'm all ears now. Okay. Alrighty then. Shitty now. Okay.
And then on the second day, they were in the studio with Paul Leary of Butthole Surfers and
Yep.
Josh Fries, who's a drummer who's worked with a lot of bands. I think now he is the drummer for Foo Fighters, but he's also played for like Nine Inch Nails and Devo. And
Devo.
yeah, but he's
Devo.
his resume is quite impressive. He's played with like tons of great bands, so it's very interesting. You can tell it's kind of like a bit of a jam album, you know, like they've gone into the studio and written a song kind of on the spot kind of thing.
Okay.
But you know, from like a music nerd perspective, it's kind of interesting.
So these musicians are actually in the studio with them,
Yeah.
collaborating.
So they're on the record, playing music on the record.
How does that come about? How do you go like, oi? Buzz.
Yo, I'm in the US. Like, come and write an
Yo.
album with us. What I haven't mentioned yet as well is, so it's actually just 4 songs, but on this side, they're sang in English, and on this side, they're sang in Swedish. So it's the same 4 songs, but they did the English version and the Swedish version.
Right, okay.
But no, it's called Duo Limbo, and it kind of sounds a bit like Duolingo, the translation.
Duolingo.
The language learning thing, and it's in multiple languages, and you know,
That can't be a coincidence.
obviously, like limbo is sometimes known as, you know, the place between heaven and hell, and then
Heaven
the
and
other
hell.
side of the album.
Yes.
Between heaven and hell.
Yes. I see what they've done there.
So lots of little Easter eggs, so it's
Nice.
quite interesting from that perspective. But yeah,
The band seem very cool.
yeah, no, and this is an artist I had heard of. They haven't listened to them much really, but they're definitely something that have come up on my radar through the Punk Slime channels in the past. Do you want to listen to the Swedish version or the English version?
Let's go Swedish.
Okay.
Feeling Swedish.
Oh god, now I have to try and pronounce the name of the song. This is a bad idea.
Okay, here we go. How many takes is this gonna?
So
This is like, oh man, in the last episode as well. I'm really sorry, but I fucked up, man. I was calling a certain band the Carmels. I was
Ah,
calling a
yeah.
certain band, but they were called the Charmels.
Charmels. You did say
Charmels.
you weren't sure if you were saying it wrong.
I did say I was, yeah, but I could
You
have
covered your back.
Yeah,
That's all right.
yeah. I'm just saying now. I know they're called the Charmels,
Okay.
and yeah,
Good.
just want to clear the air, because I know loads of people have been
Furious.
just really pissed off. So
Everyone's
many
been
people.
writing in. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, go for it, Bill.
Yeah. Waiting for me to get the hate mail.
Yeah, yeah.
Hang on.
Just throwing that over to your side.
Let me just call my my
get your
brother-in-law.
lawyer.
Yeah.
Oh, right, brother-in-law.
Okay, so I believe this is called Blair Svartzik Pade. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. The English
I'd say
version
that's
is called Get Jealous.
I think you've nailed that.
Yeah. Okay. So, are you ready? 3, 2, 1.
Rambles and Records.
So that was Blair Svartzik by ShitKid. And
I really enjoyed that, and I think you pronounced it quite well, because that was literally how it sounded on the song. So, well done.
hopefully I'm
that.
okay.
Yeah, you did good.
And that was also featuring Buzz Osborne and Dale Craver.
That was him on the fucking. Yeah, man, that was sick. We need to start fucking interviewing these bands.
Yeah.
Like Buzz, hit us up, man. It's like
Yeah.
the dental commercial things again, all over again. The sponsors. Oral-B, hit us up.
Oral-B. I've had enough of Oral-B. Right, let's keep it moving. What's next?
Yeah. Anyway, like that was. I really enjoyed that. The fact that Buzz is on it as well. That's really impressive.
Yeah,
I'd be
so
fucking gassed if he was on my album. Okay, so that's it for the Punk Slime.
that's it for the punk slime.
I really enjoyed all of that. I think all the records together was a nice little segment all in one go to try and just digest who Punk Slime are. The individual bands that you've explained all seem pretty cool, and all kind of it's that coherent thing again. They all feel like they all fit,
Yeah.
and much more in the know about who Punk Slime are, what they're all about. They
And,
seem really cool, and you should definitely check them out if you haven't
Yeah.
already. So
And
Yeah, man.
I wanted to add on the playlist, but we don't need to listen to it now. A couple of tracks, just from my experience of going to gigs that I mentioned at the beginning. I think one
Yeah.
of the first new vinyl records that I purchased was a Black Mekon record, who I mentioned were on Punk Slime.
Mhm.
And there's another band which are quite synonymous with Punk Slime and have been around for a long time on the label. And I remember great set of theirs at the Sunflower Lounge, and that's Sadekistan. So I think they're worth adding to the playlist too.
Right. Okay. Well, I've got some tunes that I'm going to add to the playlist as well, just based off what I've been listening to on Spotify. So yeah, I'm going to be adding a song from Belly, Feed the Tree. That's cool. Bit of soul from Irma Thomas, Time Is On My Side, and classic Victoria by The Fall. Yeah.
Nice.
So we'll pop them on the playlist. And I do have a rabbit hole, but I don't know if I've got it in me. Let's get into this week's rabbit hole.
Okay.
I've got a rabbit hole. It's late, I don't care, but I'm going to be bringing you some rabbit hole goodness. Albeit, might be a bit quicker than usual, but it'll still be good. So let's get into it. June 12th, 2024. That's today's date of recording. Okay? So, we're going to start in the year of 2019. During a period where Radiohead were subject to an attempted blackmail attempt on them involving 18 hours of music recorded during the making of their iconic album OK Computer, tapes from the sessions had been stolen by hackers who demanded $150,000 for their return. Instead, the band shrugged their shoulders and released the tapes in full, with profits going to climate crisis activists Extinction Rebellion. I think fans could gain access to it by paying, I think, around £18. They could get access to it all and just download it all or something, but you'd be giving all the proceeds were going to charity instead. So they kind of flipped it on its head. They sort of said, called their bluff, said, fuck you, we don't care. We're just going to put it out anyway.
It would have been good if
So
they
that's pretty
gave the 150,000 to Extinction Rebellion as well.
Well, yeah, it depends on how much that earned. I wonder how much that earned, actually. I imagine it was more than 150 grand. Maybe. But yeah, if they'd have just released it for free and then give 150 grand to the charity, that would have been the biggest fuck you. But either way, really cool thing that they did, just sort of saying, fuck it. We'll just put it out, give it to charity. So that leads us to OK Computer. During the recording of OK Computer, Radiohead had many influences during the songwriting process, with Tom York identifying Elvis Costello, R.E.M., PJ Harvey and the Beatles as direct inspiration. However, Tom York also said that the starting point for the record was the incredibly dense and terrifying sound of Bitches Brew, the 1970 avant-garde jazz fusion album by none other than Miles Davis. Okay? Miles Davis was often dubbed the Prince of Darkness.
Okay.
Due to his mysterious and occasionally aloof demeanour. Yeah, he was labelled as the Prince of Darkness. Now, Miles shares this nickname with somebody else. Ozzy Osbourne. Yeah. I was going to quiz you, but I just felt like a dick. I didn't want to be like, somebody else. Do you know who that is, Billy?
I was just about to say, do you want me to guess?
Okay. So, Miles Davis shares this nickname with Ozzy Osbourne. Ozzy was given the title for his dark and theatrical presence and influence in heavy metal music during his time fronting the band Black Sabbath. Black Sabbath replaced Ozzy in 1979 with Rainbow's Ronnie James Dio. In an ironic twist, Dio had actually been recommended by the band's manager on Arden's daughter, Sharon Arden, who later became Sharon Osbourne, Ozzy's wife. Don Arden, Sharon Osbourne's dad, gained a reputation in Britain for his aggressive, sometimes illegal business tactics, which led to him being called Mr. Big, the English Godfather, and the Al Capone of pop. Big up your man Don. Big Don. Don Arden promoted concerts for American rock and roll stars in the UK, including one of the few UK concerts of Little Richard, featuring a then unknown guitarist named Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix sadly passed away, aged 27, from an overdose, therefore making him a notable member of the 27 Club. The 27 Club refers to a group of influential musicians, artists and actors who tragically died at the age of 27. This phenomenon gained notoriety because several prominent figures, particularly from the music industry, passed away at this time under often tragic and mysterious circumstances. Another notable member of the 27 Club is Amy Winehouse. Amy Winehouse performed an exclusive gig at Moscow Art Gallery for Chelsea FC owner Roman Abramovich and his girlfriend Dasha Zukova. It was reported that the singer was paid £1 million for the gig, and the date she performed this gig was 12th of June 2008.
Wow.
Boom.
Nice.
Rabbit hole, bitch. Yeah, so that was this week's rabbit.
You did it again.
Mhm.
You're way better at this rabbit hole thing than me.
Well, you've only done one.
Yeah, that's true.
I think you're putting yourself down, man. I think you got loads of potential. Billy's going to come through with them majestic rabbit holes. The kind that just send you on a spellbinding, unrelenting, blissful journey of magnitude, musical magnitude.
Rabbits have long ears, So do hairs. I have hair on my head. When I listen to music, it goes in my brain.
Oh, right. Rabbit hole. 12th of June, 2024. I once wore a hat on my head. Radiohead.
We're too good at this.
Thank you. Right, finishing up, is there anything else, Billy, you would like to say to the people out here?
I'd just like to say thank you. Thanks to my mom. Thanks to my coach.
Hold tight.
Thanks to
Yo.
my cat. You know,
Thanks
it's been
for being
emotional.
cat. Did you know Gwen Stefani's brother was in No Doubt, but quit before the band got famous so he could work as an animator on The Simpsons?
Oh wow, no, I didn't know.
You do now.